Governor Polis has ordered flags to fly at half-staff from sunrise to sunset today to honor fallen Golden police officer Evan Dunn's memorial service. His patrol car is now a community memorial outside the Golden Police Department. We're taking a live look at that right now. Flowers, cards, candles have all been placed there by community members and others who knew him, and that memorial continues to grow. In a statement, Polis said, "In part, I am deeply saddened by the loss of Officer Dunn, and my thoughts go out to his family and friends on the Golden Police Department. We also hope for a speedy recovery for the other officer who was injured in this incident." Today is one of two services planned for the fallen officer, and you can pay your respects by lining the streets for the procession.
Nice reporter Brianna Fernandez is live outside of Mission Hills Church in Littleton with the details. Brianna, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. So we know funeral services for Officer Evan Dunn will be happening today at 1 in the afternoon. Now, like you guys mentioned, this is one of two services. We know one's happening today at 1, and then there's going to be a celebration of life also happening in his home state in Missouri. This is a private ceremony, but you're asked if you want to pay your respect. Community members can line up right along the intersection of South Park Drive and South Park Lane. Now, we know the 33-year-old officer, he was killed in the line of duty last week while responding to a crash right along Highway 58. That happened just a week ago. 3 other people, including his partner, Officer Bethany Grusing, was also injured. Officer Dunn first joined the Golden Police Department as a code enforcement officer and graduated from the police academy back in July. Officer Dunn was an Army aviation officer, a Black Hawk pilot, and a captain in the Army National Guard. Now, beyond his role of service, Officer Dunn was a husband, son, and a brother. He's survived by his wife, Annalise, his parents, and 2 siblings. Now, we know that before the ceremony, there's going to be a military helicopter flying over the church, kind of like the one that Officer Dunn used to fly. So we'll fly over the church and land right near the church. And we know with all of this happening, with everyone trying to pay their respects, community members, his family, as well as the Golden Police Department, we know there's going to be a lot of traffic impacts around this area. So I do want to send things over to 9 News traffic anchor Erica Lopez for a look at what you can expect today. Hey, good morning, Erica.
Yeah, good morning, Brianna. Like you were talking about, of course, some impacts in the Littleton Highlands Ranch area for anyone that wants to pay their respects for Officer Dunn's procession. So as far as those closures go, South Santa Fe is where things are going to begin, headed over to County Line Road. So right about here at 10 o'clock this morning, County Line Road is going to close between Lucin and Alati, headed toward that Mission Church this morning. So just something to be aware of with those closures. We also have some drone video we want to show you this morning just of the route. I'm just going to step out so you can get that full visual. If you are going to be headed out this way, traffic again restricted around Mission Hills Church. Organizers of the memorial recommend those who do want to pay their respects arrive no later than 11 this morning, and the best approach will be southbound from Mineral Avenue on South Park Lane or South Park Way. We do want to get you out back to Northglenn. That crash we've been following this morning, it is 6:04. This is along 104th Avenue, just over I-25. So the interstate just down here, the crash just over top of it this morning. Still a really massive crash scene out here. Several police cruisers with their flashers on, still have emergency crews out here as well. It does look like at least one vehicle involved in the crash, potentially this one as well. It's a little bit tough to make out if these vehicles have any damage or how many vehicles involved this morning. But earlier, we had impacts to both sides of 104th Avenue. We had cops over this way blocking things off right in the middle of the street. But everything is kind of just now in this one big section. So we do still have a couple lanes open of 104th Avenue, but something to watch out for if you're getting ready to head out the door in Northglenn this morning. We do want to take you over right now back to our maps and just run through what things are looking like elsewhere in the metro. Northbound I-25 drive, quiet and clear. 16-minute travel time is what we're looking at for your Castle Rock to 225 drive. No issues on 225. And then I-70 looking great. 14-minute drive time for you right now between E470 and 76.
Erica, thank you. Going back to the memorial service for Officer Dunn, the driver that hit both of those officers, Stephen Gear, is set to be back in court tomorrow. According to court documents, Gear told officers after the crash that he only had one beer at a local brewery. He declined a breathalyzer test. Gear is facing felony charges, including vehicular homicide. A judge set his bond last week at $250,000.
UC Health will shell out $23 million to settle a federal investigation into claims that the hospital system was artificially inflating bills for Medicare patients. The DOJ claims that UC Health was automatically using higher cost codes for Medicare and TRICARE patients in their emergency rooms. There are set billing codes for those patients based on how the hospitals treat them during their visits. A whistleblower claimed that between 2017 and 2021, UC Health was automatically coding some emergency room visits at the highest levels, regardless of how long patients were there and which resources were used during their visits. UC Health denies the allegations. A spokesperson says that they agreed to the $23 million settlement to avoid a long legal process. The whistleblower, who is a former coding specialist with the hospital system, will get nearly $4 million from that settlement. Well, folks living in Larimer County are home safe this morning after a wildfire briefly forced them to evacuate. The wildfire sparked just after 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon and spread just feet away from homes. The Poudre Fire Authority says it burned 15 to 30 acres before they got it under control. Luckily, no one was hurt and no property was damaged. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Meanwhile, several parts of the east and the west coast are reeling from raging wildfires. Right now, 13 brush fires are burning across Massachusetts. The state has dealt with more than 200 fires so far this month, and officials there say all of them were human caused. The bone dry weather is making it really difficult for firefighters to get a grip on these wildfires. The entire state is under a red flag warning. Now, crews are also trying to get a handle on a deadly wildfire burning near the New York-New Jersey border this morning. The Jennings Creek fire has burned more than 5,000 acres and more than 7.5 square miles. That fire is just 10% contained this morning. The fire killed an 18-year-old Parks employee over the weekend and has hurt several firefighters. Fire restrictions are in effect for the state of New York through the end of the month. And in Southern California, people are searching through what is left of their homes after the mountain fire forced thousands of evacuations. According to officials there, that fire destroyed more than 200 structures, most of them homes, and damaged more than 90 others. The fire has burned more than 20,000 acres or 31 square miles. Cal Fire says it's 54% contained this morning.
We may see actually some of the smoke from that fire move its way into Colorado later on this week. Not expecting a ton of smoke, but maybe a little bit of that moves its way in our direction later on this week. Meantime, we had that storm system, the one that brought us that kind of brief gusty wind and some rain, snow showers last night. That has since long moved its way off to our north and east, leaving behind drier and tranquil weather for today. We'll top out in the low 50s in Denver for today. Next week, our next chance for rain or snow. I'll have details on that in my full forecast in a couple minutes.